Today we will discuss a topic that is transporting animals. First of all, I will tell you what's transported animals. Gۄڈٕنٮ۪تھٕے وٕچھو أسۍ یُس animal منٛز transportation چھِ آسان, that is circulatory system. Same is the case here in plants. There is transporting plants. What's transport? Transport یُس چھُ سُہ چھُ life process یَتھ منٛز substance absorb چھُ گژھان, أکِس جایہِ چھِ absorb گژھان یا چھُ بنان made چھُ گژھان. For example, glucose is formed by the process of photosynthesis in plants. Then that substance is transported to other part. Yani X parts pet agar bane, so gets transport big parts pet, that is transport in plants. The plant must transport to gasans to special type of cells in plants. One is xylem cells and second is phloem. The xylem cells im asan chu tum ch kara transport water to minerals. Any minerals im asan chu tum chu mix gasa water with and is transported to xylem cells from roots to other parts of the plant. Second is phloem. This phloem type of cells cha asan in which transport gasa food. When food is synthesized on leaves. Food you synthesize gasa so bana leaves in months by the process of photosynthesis, and then that food is transported to other parts, to roots, to stem, to branch, and that process is known as translocation. When food is transported from leaves to other parts of the plant, that's called translocation. Now, our topic is means of transport. How this transport takes place in plants. This transport takes place in plants. Diffusion. What's diffusion? Diffusion is a process yet molecules move from high concentration to low concentration. Agar ekis jai concentration kun cheez kun molecule zyada aise, so gets transport from that place to other place to low concentration. That's called diffusion. Magar you see moment of diffusion in plant maz asan chu, it's a passive. It's a passive. Passive means it does not require energy. It does not require energy. In some types of diffusion, it's a passive. It does not require energy, and some type of diffusion require energy. That we discuss later on. You see diffusion gasan chu, you gasan one part of the cell to other part of the cell. Yani ek part pet cell pet to other part of the cell, biggest parts pet diffusion kam molecule gasan diffuse yani transfer gasan. Ya see gasan from cell to cell. Ek cell pet is ox cell in this ba cell. Yem cell pet gasi diffuse molecule yat cell ta. Yat cell ta. This diffusion asan chu, it is greater in gases. Yani saryo khot zyada se diffusion gasa gases mas, tem khot kam chu gasa liquid mas, tem khot kam chu gasa and less than in solids. Yani saryo khot zyada diffusion chu gasa gases mas. Agar wucho plants must use diffuse gasa, for example oxygen gasa diffuse, so gasa cell to cell diffuse, yeah, from one part of the cell to other part of the cell, yeah, cell to cell to gasa transfer, so gasa by the process of diffusion. By the process of diffusion. Diffusion three tariko gasa. One is simple, this important topic. One is simple diffusion, second is facilitated diffusion, and third one is active transport. Sorry, diffusion is two types: simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion. Z type, always simple diffusion, second go facilitated diffusion. Active transport is another separate topic. Sorry. तो अत मज वन बह कह सिंपल डिफ्यूजन वन बह इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स यह सिंपल डिफ्यूजन कित पे गसान इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट अमिक यह तर पान फेरी वैसे यह सिंपल डिफ्यूजन मेन चीज अत मज गोडनिक इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट यह इट टेक्स प्लेस फ्रॉम हाई कंसंट्रेशन टू लो कंसंट्रेशन यस कंसंट्रेशन ज्यादा आस तत पे ट्रांसपोर्ट गसा बेकि जाय तक सेकंड इज देयर इज नो नीड टू कैरियर प्रोटीन यानी कह डिफ्यूजन कह मालिक्यूल गसा तिस पे ट्रांसपोर्ट यिस पे तस जरूरत carrier protein as yus tat ek jay pe biki jay tay paknawan chu magar yel simple diffusion gasan chu achn emis carrier protein is zurat asan ki yus emis molecules paknai yus emis molecules paknai case is diffusion gasan by itself is diffusion gasan pane emis carrier protein is zurat ki. Third one is passive, no energy required. It's a passive. It's passive also not active. It's a passive, no energy required because it does not require energy. That's why it's called passive. And fourth one is very small oxygen or lipid soluble molecules transport. Yim lakit molecules asa tamashi diffuse gasa transport gasa by simple diffusion ya yim lipid soluble molecules asan chu case use membrane that's one a point use membrane asan che yim transport gasa yani diffusion gasa molecule gasa transport from one cell to another cell ya from cell to cell membrane machi transport gasa. You see, membrane it is made up of lipids. It is lipid. Lipid. The lipid molecules, soluble lipid soluble molecules asan. Yani lipids must soluble asan, dissolve gasan. Tam ch aram san simple diffusion se transport hekan gasit. Case use membrane asa ye lipid hund asa banamut yuthi molecule outside n tam gasan outside soluble tam gasan outside dissolve tam ch aram san impact transport heka gasit from one cell to another part or from cell to cell. Be yim lakid molecules asan tam ch aram san heka transport gasit. Transport heka gasit. Doyum type that is facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion. Yes, paru pakoro se difference between what's difference between simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. First, use facilitated diffusion. It is same, but there is difference to some extent. थोड़ा बहुत यात में difference. One, movement from high concentration to low concentration. Yat man is gasa movement of molecules from high concentration to low concentration. Ime molecules asa tam to move gasa from high concentration to low concentration. Same is here, high concentration to low concentration. Second characteristic of facilitated diffusion is carrier protein is required. In facilitated diffusion, there is a requirement of carrier protein. Zururi asun carrier protein tele hek facilitated diffusion gesel. But in simple diffusion, there is no need of carrier protein. Case why? Yet case zurut carrier protein, yet case zurut carrier. Yimi carrier protein so differentiate gasa simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. Facilitate means go to facilitate. Work facilitate facility provide karo madad karo that's called facilitated madad external force external madad tel diffusion that is carrier protein carrier protein facilitated diffusion must present as then facilitated diffusion will occur facilitated diffusion carrier protein at present as carrier protein is present as we say use facilitated diffusion facilitated in facilitated diffusion means at gasan use use your cell cell membrane use cell membrane lipid cell membrane lipid agar kan substance is move karon magar sa hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means go water loving. So as water loving. Use lipid and soluble but in water loving. Waters must soluble. Lipids must soluble. So yes water loving goes lipids must soluble goes tell transport easily in simple diffusions mas gasan chu tat carrier protein yani use that ek jay pe bigi jay tay paknawan chu use that diffuse kara from one part of the cell to other part or from cell to cell. That's carrier protein. So such facilitate carrier protein. So which is one carrier protein is required in facilitated diffusion. And third is Passive, it is passive. This also passive. Passive means when energy is no required. Yeah, facilitated diffusion use atma energy as zurut pevan ki no energy is required. That's why we call it passive, no energy required. It's a passive facilitated diffusion and there is no energy required. And fourth one is yet larger and charged molecules transport यम बड़ मालिक्यूल्स ते अगर आसन साइज पार्टिकल हुन मालिक्यूल हुन बोर्ड आइस सु हेका ट्रांसपोर्ट गसित अगर सिंपल डिफ्यूजन में वुचो लकट मालिक्यूल्स यम आसन तम ट्रांसपोर्ट हेका गसित सो तिल अगर इस वनो रेट ऑफ डिफ्यूजन का पे डिपेंड करा यानी डिफ्यूजन कोता फास्ट गए ये तब मालिक्यूल्स लकट आसन तो तक गसन डिफ्यूज मालिक्यूल्स ज्यादा फास्ट ज्यादा ये तब बड़ आसन योता साइज ज्यादा आस तो तक गसन कम तो तक गसन कम मे वो यम जाए वनस तन त स्टार्ट्स तोर मे डिस्कस यम सबस्टेंस यम हाइड्रोफिलिक तमन डिफिकल्ट टू पास तम आराम सान हेका पास गम सेल मेम्ब्रेन मज कह सो तिज मोमेंट सह फैसिलिटेट कर दैट्स फैसिलिटेटेड बाय कैरियर प्रोटीन सह कैरियर प्रोटीन से फैसिलिटेट ग ताकि आराम सान हे डिफ्यूज ग फिगर बन नम जाए यह गो आउटसाइड द सेल this outside the cell space, this is inside the cell space. ठीक outside the cell space यम जाए कि molecule for example oxygen molecule or any other molecule उस यम जाए हम अगर diffuse गसन यम this is cell membrane में diffuse गसन ये outside the cell युथ यम जाए वातान छ यह गो ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रोटीन ये वन कैरियर प्रोटीन यह कैरियर प्रोटीन यमन मालिक्यूलन योत ट्रांसफर करा त्रवा इनसाइड द सेल ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रोटीन सो यह फिगर फैसिलिटेटेड डिफ्यूजन डिस्कस करा सो यम जे मालिक्यूल ये ट्रांसपोर्ट प्रोटीन और कैरियर प्रोटीन यम जे सेल मेम्ब्रेन्स पे ये सेल मेम्ब्रेन्स पे कैरियर प्रोटीन प्रेजेंट आस तेले हे फैसिलिटेटेड डिफ्यूजन गसित अलबत्ता यु सिंपल डिफ्यूजन आसा तथ मस जरूरत आसा कि कैरियर प्रोटीन फैसिलिटेटेड डिफ्यूजन यह तेले ऑकर गसा व्हेन देयर इज अ कैरियर प्रोटीन present so carrier protein यह facilitate करा यह facilitate करा यह substance move हेका करित यानी diffuse हेकान करित केज यम substance तम ये facilitated diffusion में diffuse गसा substance यम hydrophilic substance के आसा तम जो water loving तम छन pass यम cell membrane में आराम सान हेका गसित कि so use तिहंस moment आसा सो facilitate गसा by carrier protein so तिल गस निम जा ये याद थोन use facilitated diffusion important point facilitated diffusion is carrier protein let's carry is here carrier protein CRIER carrier protein so carrier protein carrier protein is such facilitated diffusion gasa ye thome figure mat name jay ये carrier protein outside the cell molecules diffuse gasa diffuse gasa carrier protein yote paknawa trawa inside the cell तो त्रेम अगर एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट यह थोड़ा बहुत यम नश अपोजिट ये वो फ्राम हाई कंसंट्रेशन टू लो कंसंट्रेशन ये फैसिलिटेटेड डिफ्यूजन में फ्राम हाई कंसंट्रेशन टू लो कंसंट्रेशन ट्रांसपोर्ट गसा substance but this active transport movement from low concentration to high concentration yel kunje concentration low as tam transport to high concentration movement from low concentration to high concentration carrier protein required active transports manch carrier protein require asan yani zarat asan and energy ATP required. So active transports much energy lagan. Case issue from low concentration to high concentration. Ile energy as tele hekan particles or molecules transport from low concentration to high concentration. So use ATP energy use a differentiate kara. Yet simple diffusion which use passive at this energy required facilitated diffusion was passive at an energy required magar use active transport active. It's not passive, it's active because ATP energy is required. Adenosine triphosphate energy is required. Gasan lagan from low concentration, high concentration molecule diffuse. This is fourth one. Large and charged molecule move. Atman bird particles asan diffuse gasan move gasan ya charged particles asan move gasan. The last but one point fixed law. of the laws, that's called Fick's, F-I-C-K-S, Fick's law. Fick's law is one you surface area into concentration gradient. Surface area into concentration gradient divided by diffusion distance. Am so heko is rate of diffusion. Rate of diffusion. Rate of. So then one use rate of diffusion to asa. Set heko is new formula set rate of diffusion depend kara surface area into concentration gradient यानी concentration gradient क्या आस divided by diffusion distance इम सहित हेकुन इस करित rate of diffusion. It was all about today's topic. Inshallah tomorrow we will discuss another topic.